Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Fusion of Honor, where we cover everything that happens on MLW Fusion and Ring of Honor. Now, still light on that MLW. Still kind of light. You know, they gave us that tease of Battle Riot. We are going to have that. Actually, it's airing tomorrow, so we will be able to, because we're recording on a Friday, so we'll be able to at least talk about that this upcoming episode next week. And Ness will be able to give you all of the fun details of being there live. I'm sure that he has some interesting, fun stories. I know we've seen some pictures of Alicia Atut sitting on the at ringside for a look for bits of the show. So I'm sure there's going to be some interesting stuff that happens during Battle Riot. But that's next week. And this week, we got to talk about Ring of Honor, which had a light week. There was no match on week by week. There was really not too much of anything for Women of Honor Wednesday. And we learned whether or not Quinn McKay is making it into the tournament. Now, it feels a little weird considering they're coming off of a pay-per-view when you think about it. Like, they're still kind of coming off of a pay-per-view. So I don't know what exactly the situation is, but we're going to figure that out. And there's nobody that I prefer to figure out these things when it comes to MLW, when it comes to Ring of Honor with than my co-host. And that is none other than the three-time baby-making champ. Ness, how are you doing this evening?
Doing mighty fine this evening. True Hills, what's the deal? I'm hoping that the lightness is because, fans are coming back to experience the events now. Maybe they kind of ran out of the tapings at this point, but now we're back in motion and things, especially since the fact that not to go off in a tangent and get ahead of myself, that Tracy Williams was in a match this week. So I'm hoping that either he's fully healed or maybe that was a part of a taping. I don't know. But whatever the case may be, let's just get back to the action.
Yeah, let's get straight into that. But right before we do, guys, remember to hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe if you have not already. That is one of the best ways that you can participate and be part of the True Heel Heat family. But speaking of participating, this episode of Ring of Honor starts off with somebody who finds out they may not be able to participate. And it's not Tracy Williams. As Ness was just alluding to, he is in the match. And it is none other than the Octopus, Jonathan Gresham. Gresham finds out that he has a little bit of a knee injury that he's picked up during training with Joe Keys. And he's not sure if he's going to be able to make it to the main event, which is supposed to be Shane Taylor Promotions, which is now 4 members with O'Shea Edwards and the Foundation, all 4 members. So instead of Jonathan Gresham, we find out that we are going to get Joe Keys, one of Gresham's top students in the dojo. Now, as much as I kind of like the injury angle to give to give Joe Keys a moment, a spot in the sun, it kind of does telegraph what could potentially happen in that main event match. Because if you have somebody like Joe Keys who's ready, willing, and able to take that pin, well, it may mean that he's going to take that pin. But before we can even talk about a main event or even any of the matches, we have to talk about the fact that, Quinn McKay is not there to be our host. She is not there to introduce us to this week's Ring of Honor because she is competing in that match against Mandy Leon. So who could Ring of Honor have called? Well, normally they would call Ian Riccaboni, but he's off doing some nerd shit. At least that's what we're told by our actual host, who is none other than Ness's favorite person in Ring of Honor, probably bar none, even over the Mexicans. It's possible. And of course, we are talking about the Mecca, Brian Johnson. Ness, what did you think about Brian Johnson?
That was great. It was great. It was great. Hey, Quinn, I love you. But if we can get Brian Johnson on, backstage correspondent, you know, him just talking about the matches. Anything that Brian Johnson does, I'm 100% all in on it. I'm definitely a fan. You know, the way that he was putting over the Allure and Mandy Leon over, and then just trying to bury Quinn McKay in the process. He's like, yeah, she's trying to play pretend wrestler, you know, and he's just like mad thirsty regarding the Allure, which I don't blame him. I don't blame him whatsoever, because, you know, you see them, like, yeah, they're beautiful ladies. So I completely understand his position on that. But yeah, man, it was great. I wish that he had more time. I wish that he was able to talk about all the matches that happened on this episode, which, you know, this is just me nitpicking, but yeah, it was great. They know what they have with Brian Johnson. You know, they either have him on commentary, you know, they have him in, you know, replacing Quinn, you know, just use the guy. He can talk. He talks his ass off. That's the main reason why I'm a huge fan of his. He's very entertaining. He can elicit any type of reaction out of you, whether it's good or bad. And as myself, again, a huge fan. So I was all for this. I was all for it. I just think that they should have utilized him a little bit more on this episode. But hey, you know, I don't want to sound greedy. I want to sound like a mark.
Yes. I like the idea of maybe every once in a while switching up the host. It doesn't need to be Quinn McKay being in a match. It can just, you know, be somebody else. And it could be a great way for them to talk about somebody that they're feuding with, or, you know, just somebody that they're going to enter into a feud with, just something of that nature, where it adds a little bit of dynamic, a little bit of spice to the show. But you are absolutely right. Ring of Honor does know what they have with Brian Johnson, and they also know what they have with the two people in our opening match. And we, of course, are talking about Fred Yehi taking on Ray Horace. This match was, I don't know, weirdly, I think I may have liked it more than any other match on the card. It had some really good action. It had a moment where, I think, a great spot where Ray Horace went for a drop kick. He missed it. And Fred Yehi, like, while Horace is falling to the mat, is like, oh, wait, I can use this. And like, he's diving in to put this man in the Koji clutch. Like, it was a great moment, and it just goes to show the thought process of Fred Yehi. I don't know if that was a planned spot or not. And if it wasn't, that's even more incredible, because of how well he was able to think. And a part of me thinks that it was not a thought-out spot because of how Ray Horace reacted. Ray Horace was like, wait a minute, what is going on? And so that was a really nice touch. But this match had nice submission attempts. It had some really, really hard-hitting action, which was not something that I expected for these two kind of guys, especially because one is submission-based, one is high flyer. I didn't think the hits would be as heavy as they were, but these were two guys who were ready and just wanted something out of this match, and they really went for it. As you can see, there are multiple times where Yehi is going for just quick pins and then puts him into that Koji clutch again and again and again, and is trying to get that submission move. But Ray Horace is able to pull out a really surprising win, because this match felt like it was Yehi's to win and to lose the entire way. And after 9 minutes and 53 seconds, Ray Horace is able to use a body scissors driver, which seemed really innovative in and of itself, to put away Fred Yehi and pick up the win. Ness, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, I did enjoy this opener. It was a nice showing of two different styles going together, going against each other. You know, the lucha libre, high flying of Ray Horace versus the submission mat base. Pretty much the pure style of Fred Yehi, which indeed it did seem like it was going to be Fred Yehi's match to win. Which I was actually surprised that he lost, because it just seemed like that he was just more focused on picking up the victory, and just like what Ray Horace was, he had a lot of attempts, but it just seemed like nothing was like really working, because Fred Yehi was trying to stay a step ahead of him. So him picking up the win with the body scissors driver, which, you know, he's won a few matches with that So I'm guessing that might be his official finisher. But yeah, nobody kicks out of that. And I was expecting Freddie Yehi to kick out of it. I don't know why, but they're pushing. They got a nice little push for Ray Horse. Like both these guys were coming in off of off of victory. So it's just like, oh man, it's like who's going to take the L? But it seems like they have Ray Horse on a path to. It got to lead to somewhere. He's picking up all these victories in different divisions and things of that nature. So, who is he? Is he next in line for what? A TV title shot, or who knows? Who knows? Where him and where he finds some new partners, maybe jump back in the tag division, 6-man division. Who knows? Only time's going to tell. And I want to see what's next for Fred Yehi too, because he was coming off of a victory before this loss. So, like, what's going on with him? It's racking up losses and then a win. Boost your confidence, and then back to another loss. The last time we seen him, he was questioning himself due to his losses. And then he picked up the victory. So, is he going to go back to questioning himself? Just see where it goes with his character development.
Yeah, he had a really good shot at taking that pure title away from Jonathan Gresham, but Gresham just gutted it out. Yeah. And now I don't know, like Yehi, he is somebody who is built for that pure division, but where does he go from here? That is going to be an interesting question for them to ask or to answer. But a question that we do finally have answered is whether or not Quinn McKay is making it into the Women of Honor tournament. As she takes on Mandy Leon of the Allure. We know that if she wins this match, she's in the tournament. If she loses, she's not. But even if she did win, she would have to face Mandy Leon again in order to advance in the tournament itself. So this is a match that has a lot of emotion behind it. This match got the full treatment of the full promo video package, which I really liked. Yeah. They definitely built it up to mean something. It wasn't main event worthy. I'll admit to that, but it did have a lot of story behind it and a lot of power behind it. When Quinn McKay is pointing out all the similarities between herself and Mandy Leon, and has a great babyface moment where this is somebody who has, really hurt you and really tried to push you down and shove you down, and you're still trying to help that person. When she's telling Mandy Leon, you can be somebody, you just need to get away from Angelina Love. You don't need her. She needs you. You don't need her. And this match was a very, very good story, actually. It was a tried and true story of the heel continuing to use just dastardly one-upmanship tactics to try to get the win over the opponent. We had a lot of Quinn McKay trying to battle back, trying to get that babyface fire. It's probably a match that would have benefited from a crowd, but at the end of the day, Mandy Leon is able to pick up the win just under 8 minutes. This has a kind of interesting twist in it because what happens is Quinn is able to get the tap-out win over Mandy Leon. However, due to Angelina Love distracting the ref doesn't see it. Now, we've talked about this for a while, about how the growth of Quinn McKay is her learning and developing what it means to really be in the ring. She knows that Mandy is tapping. The natural reaction is to let go of the hold because you think you've won. And that's exactly what she does. She's not realizing that the ref has to actually call the match. The bell has to be rung. And so she lets go of the hold and she turns around, and that's when she realizes the ref is not paying attention because of Angelina. And when she goes to I guess berate the ref to be like, why aren't you doing your job? Angelina takes that time to run around the ring and slip Mandy Leon a pair of brass knuckles. Now, they had a nice moment where it looked as though despite using having the brass knuckles, Mandy was still going to lose. It had just a moment. You were like, wow, finally the Allure's tactics or their heel ways is going to they're going to get a little bit of comeuppance. But no, when Quinn picked up Mandy, which I got to say was a pretty impressive feat of strength, Mandy was able to cold clock her with the brass knuckles, get the pin, and get the win. Now, one other thing that I do want to add is that our board of directors.
I knew it. Because I already
was on commentary, is watching all of this unfold. And there were a lot of thoughts that I had during this. First and foremost, you could just abandon Angelina Love for the ring.
I don't know why that. What?
Know that they cause problems. You know that they do this. You have created this situation so that Quinn has a shot, and you want it to be a fair shot. That was the whole thing. You wanted it to be a fair shot. Just ban that woman from ringside. What's the big deal? What's Angelina Love going to be able to do? You're a board of director member, right? You're on the board of directors. So what is that supposed to mean? So then on top of that, throughout the match, Caprice and Riccaboni are asking Maria about the fact that the Allure interfere. And Maria's just like, well, I'm a woman of action, and so these things are going to be addressed. And it's like, when? After the match? Why not do this before the match?
I'm a woman of action.
You're a woman of action.
Takes no action.
And then the best part of this is this. She sees Angelina Love give Mandy Leon the brass knuckles. It is well within Maria's power to leave the announce desk and go down there and stop the situation from happening. But fine, let's assume for the moment she can't do that. It's also well within her power after the match to go down there and restart the match. All I was thinking about was when the CM Punk Rock Royal Rumble match, when Vince said, if the Shield gets involved, you automatically lose the title. Lights go out, Rock gets attacked. It's supposed to clearly be the Shield. Vince comes out and is saying this, this match is going to be the results are going to be thrown out because Punk is able to pin the Rock, and Rock just says, restart the match. And Vince goes, didn't think of that. Restarts the match, rock bottom, 1, 2, 3. We're on the way to WrestleMania. Yeah. That could easily have happened here. I don't know, and I don't know why it didn't. It just confused me. And then on top of that, it seemed as though when Maria was speaking, and maybe this is just me, she came across as a bit of a heel. Yeah. She came across as though she was, in a way, supporting what the Allure were doing for being smart and not necessarily cheating, but taking advantage of the rules and taking advantage of the situation. And then it made me think about how when she was in Impact, she was a heel, and one of her cohorts was none other than Laurel Van Ness, who is now in Ring of Honor as Chelsea Green. And so I thought, wow, what if they are going to recreate that moment? Because even then, Maria was in charge of the knockouts. No matter where she goes, somehow, maybe that's why she's the first lady of professional wrestling. Somehow, some way, she gets put in charge of women's divisions as a figurehead. I don't understand it because she doesn't actually do anything, it seems. But I've complained about Maria for long enough.
No, you have not. No, you have not.
No. I'm about to let you complain about Maria. What did you think about this match?
All right, I'm going to talk about the match first. So just everything leading up to this, I love Quinn's. I actually love both of their video packaging, their promos. Mandy Leon, she's just the cocky, I'm too good for this. Like, she even said that, like, I'm spending way too much time talking about Quinn. She's not on my level. Like, she can't compare to me, which, going into things, she has the experience, way more experience over Quinn. She has the backup in Angelina Love. So they have a right to say that, oh, she's not going to be able to compare to me. definitely had the attitude going into it. So I was already hooked off of that. And then Quinn just coming off the opposites, the full other side of the spectrum, that babyface promo saying like, look, we are so similar. She runs down like, oh, I'm a backstage correspondent. You were a backstage correspondent. You were originally in the first official dojo. I'm in the new dojo. You know, I lost my first match. I lost my debut match. You lost your debut match. So that right there was great storytelling, and just showing how, as much as Mandy might seem that they might be like they're not the same, that they really are. So I appreciate that they, you know, they put that aspect on it. The match was good. I enjoyed it again because Quinn is learning. She's definitely picking up on things that she didn't show in her match against Angelina Love, and it's coming around. Unfortunately, she hasn't fully understood that, you know, there's certain things that you shouldn't do. Just like you said, you know, Mandy is tapping, but no one called for the bell. The ref obviously didn't see it. So, you know, that happens a lot in wrestling, but I think it just made more sense for it to happen here, given that Quinn is not as experienced as, you know, other people on the roster, just in wrestling in general, you know, at this point in her young career. So it's just, and again, she's honorable, you know, so she's not going to hold on to as much as she should have, as all the hell that these two have put her through. You know, they definitely, she should have just held on to it till the ref called for the bell. But, you know, again, at the end of the day, she's a sweetheart, you know, she has a heart. So it makes sense as why that she didn't want to like actually hurt Mandy. So, and again, Mandy has the backup. Angelina Love playing, you know, distracting the ref, throws in the brass knucks. It made for a great ending because she didn't lose clean. That's one, because it definitely would have did more damage for her to lose with a clean loss. Definitely go out looking strong. Now, on to more information on this match. Angelina Love being at ringside, being a hindrance multiple times during this match. Ian and Caprice both making this known to Maria. And Caprice legitimately asks her, hey, Angelina Love's out here, you know, getting involved in the match. Like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm making a note of everything. What do you mean you're making a note? Who gives a fuck about your notes? Throw her out of the match. Why are you allowing this to happen? You know, you want to give everybody a fair chance. There's nothing fair. He literally says there's nothing fair about two people being up against one person, in which the other one of them shouldn't even be in the match, shouldn't be around at all. It should be a fair fight, one versus one. And when it came down to it, and that aspect of it, Mandy couldn't hold up her side of, you know, this match. She lost. At the end of the day, you know, if the ref would have seen what was going on and he wasn't distracted, she would have lost. But, you know, things happen. I'm not understanding what's going on because, one, when Mandy was, you know, given the opportunity to be in this the Women of Honor title tournament, she's like, oh, I knew I was going to be in it. What's the news you had for me? So she pretty much doesn't respect Maria off the rip. You know, just out of the gate, you know, you're getting hit with disrespect. Oh, come on. Yeah, you know, well, you got to have other information to tell them. You got to have some other news. No, that isn't. No, that can't be it. Because, you know, before you even tell me that I'm going to be a part of it, I knew this. You know, like, that's kind of a slap in the face, the disrespect that you are showing, the respect you're showing her to give her a chance to be in the tournament. She took it upon herself to say, I was going to be in it regardless if you told me or not. That's one. Two, Mandy interferes in Angelina's match. You don't do nothing about that. Or you really don't do anything about it, but you give Quinn another shot. Okay, that's doing something. It's deja vu all over again because Angelina is interfering in Mandy's match against Quinn, and you don't do shit again. All you say is, oh, I watch everything. I'm making a note. Your notes don't mean shit because now, as of right now, who knows what will happen? I'm not giving her the benefit of the doubt, but at this moment in time, Quinn is out of the tournament. She exasperated both chances. She lost to Angelina. She lost to Mandy. Maria's sitting on commentary watching this shit happen, which is ironic as fuck because she tells Vita Von Starr not to interfere in the men's matches. And you see how quick she came out to throw her out of the title tournament? But all this is happening. People are making you aware of all this happening. And it's like, okay, yeah, I see what's going on. Don't worry, I'll have it handled. And you don't do shit. You do nothing at all. Now, this might be me jumping the gun, just putting the cart before the horse because, they can always pick up on this next week, the following, whatever the case may be. But not when a heel in Vita Von Starr does exactly what you don't want her to do. You didn't waste a second to take her out of this title tournament.
The funniest part of this is that she can't even cop to the fact that it involved her husband or her husband's friend or anything like that, because we've already have examples of her not doing shit when it did involve them previously.
She didn't acknowledge it whatsoever. It says nothing, just sitting on commentary, quiet, just with her hands on her ass, not doing anything. But letting the Allure run wild and do whatever the fuck they want, against Quinn, who, pretty much has been showing you some respect, who's a respectable individual, loved backstage. Everybody likes her. They say that, she was going out her way to try to be accepted. No, she's just a sweetheart, and she just wants to prove that she belongs. And she was doing that. She literally did that. And what happens? She doesn't get the respect back. She gets pretty much not physically jumped, but there's two people walking against her the whole match, dirty finish, and Maria does nothing, doesn't acknowledge it, anything, says that she'll, she made notes, fuck her notes, says that like we're not gonna do anything, we're pretty much not gonna do anything. Like, come on, where's the consistency here? You're on the board, you're the first woman of professional wrestling, first lady, whatever the case, whatever you want to call yourself. Are you really towing this line of we have rules and regulations that we need to follow here that you did for one person, but now you do for literally two people, the team of the Allure? They both got away with these things. Now, if they go the route that, you brought up with her somehow being in cahoots with the Allure, then okay, that makes sense. And I will give her the benefit of the doubt when we cross that bridge. But I have a strong feeling, a real strong feeling that that's not the case. And it's just another showing of Maria just being like oblivious to what's going on. And I don't know. I really don't know what's going on. Now, again, this is going to make up great babyface momentum for Quinn if and when she gets back into, the ring. And I have a feeling that obviously the story isn't over with the Allure. So yeah, that's going to get the audience and the crowd behind her, especially when they get the crowds back and she's in the ring. They're going to pop. She's going to get a major babyface pop. But again, they just have to. The execution of this it's. I don't know. It doesn't really seem like it's hitting on all cylinders the way that it should. But I'm sitting here. I'll wait for it to go, mainly because like I'm a fan of Quinn. Like I already like her bubbly personality backstage. Everybody loves her. But now that she's testing the waters and trying to become a pro in the ring, it just seems like they're just throwing all these obstacles in her way, literally for no reason. Yeah, for somebody that doesn't have the experience, she shouldn't be going through all this. Like her experience and her obstacles should be going against these veterans. It should be just that. It shouldn't be being teamed up against people. And then when you have the board, a member of the board out there watching what's going on, they don't do shit.
It's almost as though they're trying to Daniel Bryan her without her being Daniel Bryan-able. Right. She doesn't have the track record to be Daniel Bryan, like that babyface run that he had against the authority, but they're kind of like forcing it.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't she's very well connected with the audience, and she's very well just that the story is very well developed, but she doesn't. It needs to have gone on for longer. Like, as much as I feel bad for Quinn, at the same time, I'm just like, well, she should know better. This is her just learning. It's not the case of how it was with Brian, where Brian knew everything. Like, he knew what he was supposed to know. And it was just a question of being held back for no reason. And I feel like there's a lot of parallels here, and they're trying to force the issue, but it just isn't. There's something about it that isn't coming across properly.
Right. I totally agree with that. I 100% agree with that. I don't think that they should be going that route because, like you said, she doesn't have that experience. And like, that's two different stories thrown together for this storyline for Quinn, and they just need to keep it at one. They don't need both. You don't need the being held down type of authority thing, where that's where it comes in with Maria, and then she just has to go up against the Allure. Let's let her fight it out. Which, again, she pretty much had both of them beat the first, and it's been her own experience. It's been her inexperience. So let that be the story of, the inexperience, not the story of, yes, she's dealing with, not knowing how to handle herself in these situations because, one, she's not a pro. And then on top of that, you have a pro and Maria, a board member, is letting these things happen. So what does that say about you? If that's the route you're going to go, and she is an undercover heel, then okay, then that makes sense. But again, I don't see that's what's going on. Not with, after every Women of Honor episode, she's, bigging up these women and giving them tickets to gold and things like that. So and even if that's the case, then you don't even know what the hell your character is. It's confusing. It's extremely confusing.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I in a way, it gets the job done, because I do want to just see more of this. I want to see how it's going to. I want to see how it's going to.
We are invested.
How it's going to happen.
I'll give them that. Yeah,
for sure. But Ness, I got a question. Do you want to see a dead body?
I did involuntarily a couple times during this main event.
Because during this main event, where the Foundation plus Joe Keys is taking on Shane Taylor Promotions, there is a very good chance that people are going to die.
Yeah.
Violence Unlimited. Oof. I don't know if that's the right name for them when you have a group like Shane Taylor Promotions. Shane Taylor Promotions is here. They are in force, all with their new member, O'Shea Edwards. So it's all four of them versus the Foundation plus Joe Keys. We talked earlier about how they are missing Jonathan Gresham. This match has some really, really hard-hitting action. I know I said that earlier with the Ray Horace and Freddie Ahai, but this is hard-hitting on a completely different level. Yeah. This is a match that is dominated by Shane Taylor and Jay Lethal. And it's really interesting to me because, one, Shane Taylor is somebody who a lot of people have, felt is an uncrowned world champion for some time. We thought it could very well be him who took that world title from Roosh not too long ago. Meanwhile, Jay Lethal is somebody who is having some issues with whether or not he really is the franchise. We talked about how Jay can easily get a title shot just by walking in there, picking up a microphone and saying, "But I'm the franchise." And as Shane Taylor Promotion asks him during the match, "The franchise of what?" And Jay Lethal is just like, "Man, I have had it with your mouth," and gives him a nice shove back. But if you shove Shane Taylor, don't be surprised if you end up on the floor. Yeah. And that's exactly where Jay Lethal finds himself during this match. Oh my God, this was hilarious.
That was the dead body that they spoke of prior to this match starting.
Now, I will say this. The only thing I don't like about the spot is that Caprice Coleman is just looking for a way to throw in the "oh my God" thing whenever there's a Shane Taylor match. And sometimes it's deserving of that call, and other times it's not. Luckily, this time it was.
Yeah.
But this match was dominated by Shane Taylor and Jay Lethal, and it told a really cool story where the foundation was having to rely upon Jay Lethal in a sense because they were using Tracy Williams, but not that much.
Right.
They had Joe Keys in there, but they couldn't really rely on him. And so what did they do, which is very interesting? They continually set up Rhett Titus, of all people, for the hot tag. And when he did come in, he was on fire. I think it was actually the first time he was in the match itself. It might have been, I'm not 100% sure. But he really was super fired up. And I got to say that one thing that Caprice pointed out was that he is the foundation of the foundation. He has been the kind of the glue that has been keeping them in tag matches, in 6-man tag matches, and now 8-man tag matches. And it really is true. Meanwhile, on the Shane Taylor promotion side, this was a great moment for Shane Taylor, who has kind of taken a back seat to Khan and Moses in the past few STP matches. However, at the same time, they did something very, very smart. We kind of had a feeling that Joe Keys was going to take the pin once they swapped out Gresham for Keys. Makes sense. We also know that Gresham is coming off of the 2 back-to-back matches at Best in the World. Okay, so what did they do? They said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pull Gresham. We're going to put Joe Keys in there. Keys is going to take the pin. But who is going to be the person who pins him? That's an interesting question, because a lot of times you would think it should be Shane Taylor. And we've had situations where Taylor has let other people in SDP, whether it's Khan or Moses, take the pin. But here, this is the first match, I think, it is the first match, where the newly bolstered STP is in full force. So they made the very smart move of having O'Shea Edwards be the person who pins Joe Keys and wins. None of the foundation members look bad because they didn't take the pin. None of the foundation members look bad because they weren't at full strength because Gresham wasn't there. But what it does do is it gave O'Shea Edwards a very, very compelling win, and it made us all believe or feel, or should make us all believe or feel, that Shane Taylor Promotions is a well-oiled machine. And that is pretty much exactly what they are. Shane Taylor said it during the little inset promo video when they were coming out. You brought Joe Keys in, but all you did was bring him to the slaughter. And that is what Shane Taylor Promotions does and has continued to do every single time that they are in the ring. And all this match made me do, despite besides thinking O'Shea Edwards is going to be a guy, was think, man, I really want to see Shane Taylor Promotions versus the Bouncers and Ken Dixon. That is something that I'm looking forward to now. But Ness, what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I enjoyed this main event as well, just for the story that it was telling. You know, we got the militant Shane Taylor Promotions. You know, they are the baddest group, or feel as though they're the baddest group at Ring of Honor right now. It's kind of hard to disagree with that because they some bad motherfuckers, you know. And then again, we have the foundation, a new look to the foundation with the help of Joe Keys. But again, he was trained by one of the foundations of the foundation in Jonathan Gresham. And again, I agree with you as well. Everybody looked good in this match. No one came out looking bad, in my opinion. Everybody, for the time that they had in the ring, they all showed what they could do. Tracy Williams having his limited time in the ring, which, you know, he's still coming off of the injury, which it was nice to at least see him back in some type of capacity, which was good. Show that he's all right. He can still move and things. Yeah, Rhett Titus, he's definitely been the hot tag guy to go to. Every time he's in a tag match, whenever he comes in, that knob just gets turned up to 10, and he brings that momentum back to the side of the foundation, and he's been great for them. And like at one point, you know, Rhett was just like the guy on a roster. You know, he was just floundering, I think the foundation's pretty much been the best thing that's happened to him in his Ring of Honor career, like for his career of Ring of Honor, honestly, in my opinion. Lethal still dealing with, is he still the franchise? Can he get the job done? And then having Shane Taylor, telling me, well, what are you franchise? The franchise of what? He just loses his shit. Because again, that's character development. He's been going through so much recently.
He's been going through it.
He's definitely been going through it. And then recently losing at Best in the World to Brody King, when he was just going in with the mindset like, I have to get this victory. I have to pick up this win for professional wrestling, for pure wrestling, not for what they stand for, but what I stand for. And him not getting that victory definitely put him in a bad space. Now with another loss for the even though he didn't take the pin, thank God. Overall, another loss for the foundation. I'm pretty sure he's not in a good space. And for the fact that, again, we knew that Joe Keys would be in the match to take the pin again. Him being not as experienced as the rest of the guys, we really can't fault him because, again, Shane Taylor Promotions is like a group of Shane Taylors. I don't want to put that stigma, not even a stigma. I don't want to put that on because all these guys are their own individuals, but it's just like they are all the same type of individual and they are all bad, dangerous guys. And to have that and to know that they are these type of people, that is a dangerous in itself. Like, all right, I'm a big, bad person and not knowing it. Okay, you can manipulate someone and do some things, give them to work for you some type of way. No, you can't do that with Shane Taylor Promotions. Like, they know what to do, how to do it, when they want to do it, why they want to do it, that type of thing. And they showed it in this match. I love the fact that O'Shea Edwards did pick up the win because he is the newest member. So I feel as though like he has more to prove. They are the 6-man tag team champions. They already proved what they need to prove. Shane Taylor, everybody, he's a household name, Shane Taylor. He's been letting Moses and Khan build up their stock for the most part. And again, he is Shane Taylor, but for their 6-man tag team matches, Moses and Khan have been putting in a little bit more work to get that momentum and get that clout for their name and for SOS. So I like the fact that they've been doing it, and this match just showed that and more with having O'Shea Edwards pick up the victory. And again, him picking up the victory over Joe Keys, one that's not as experienced or he is experienced, but he had to break down and he's going through the dojo again. So he's just like rebranding himself all over again. But going up against these big bad kaiju, that's a big bad monster. If you don't know, you don't speak Japanese, that's a big bad monster. And that's exactly what the group of Shane Taylor Promotions is full of. So now I also want to see Shane Taylor Promotions versus the Bouncers. But what I want to see, honestly, Shane Taylor Promotions versus Violence Unlimited, because those are two entities that pretty much have the same mindset, pretty much fight the same, wrestle the same. It's just like, it'll be like a mirror match, but it's like, that's a movable force. Well, I don't know how to fucking say
irresistible force, a movable object.
That's like two brick walls running into each other. And whenever they cross paths, because it's going to happen.
And we got a little bit of a taste. Remember, not too long ago, a couple months ago, we had that Brody King Shane Taylor match.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it was supposed to, Shane Taylor felt as though that he needed to pick up the win. It didn't go that way. So now he can always double back. Like, look, we did it before. Let's do it again. You got your boys. I got my boys. Let's meet each other in the ring. Now, hey, if anybody's watching, because we get a lot of love from the Ring of Honor, but we get a lot of love from Ring of Honor talent when it comes to Fusion of Honor. So if anybody's watching this, if this art wasn't already in the works, go ahead and do it. I won't ask for any credit.
Yeah, that would be a hell of a match. That I think would be Just put Todd Sinclair as the ref because things are gonna happen, and we already know he doesn't care. So either that or ring the bell and then have Caprice or Riccaboni just suddenly go, oh, by the way, this is a grudge match. Just somehow, because these are guys who are those are guys who would tear the house down quite literally because they would need the kitchen sink to hit at the other person because that's the only way the other person is going to go down. You have to throw the kitchen sink at them. And that would be a hell of a match. And I just got to say, this is pretty incredible to think that we are going to soon be in August. Last September was when the Pure Title tournament started. Last September was when Review of Honor started. And we will soon be a year total for between the two shows. If you had told me back then, when we were in September and October, that out of the factions in Ring of Honor, the Foundation would actually be looking the weakest, I would have the hardest time believing what you were saying. Because the Foundation has been on a trajectory of an upswing. And then somewhere around Final Battle, even though we didn't realize it, they started this fall. And the problem with falling, as the Joker told us in Dark Knight, was its gravity. And gravity is going to get faster and faster as you fall from higher and higher. And we are now in a position, because remember, it also wasn't too long ago that you and I were talking about this three-way faction dance, and we were saying, what happens if Shane Taylor Promotions gets involved? Well, now Shane Taylor Promotions has a win over the Foundation. They have the six-man tags. They could realistically try to get the regular tags, and those are held by Violence Unlimited. O'Shea Edwards could try to slowly work his way up the TV title ladder rankings, and that puts him up against Dragon Lee. We know that the world title is on Bandito, and so they've kind of removed that one from the equation, and now it's just about bragging rights. And as you pointed out, Shane Taylor could easily want to run it back with Brody King. And we don't know the mind state of our former world champion, Roosh. So this is a very, very combustible situation. And I got to say, that is something that I absolutely love, because it's going to lead to those car crash style matches. It's going to lead to the wars. It's going to lead to the things that Ring of Honor desperately needs. And then above it all, we're going to have Jonathan Gresham just tapping people out. just continuing to tap people out. Provided that, as Mecca rightly pointed out, the octopus doesn't have his tentacles all up in a boo-boo. He's got to boo-boo the guys this week. So yeah, that was more Mecca. That's really the seasoning that sprinkles on top is more Mecca. But this was actually a really good episode, and it made me. I was thinking about wow, I was like, oh, we don't have any match for week by week. We don't have a really like a Women of Honor like match this week. But in a way, by focusing on just these three matches, they did a lot for Ring of Honor going forward and keeping all of those plates spinning. But that is when we talk about the future. And let's talk about the future very quickly. Glory by Honor is coming up. And speaking of tapping out and speaking of problems within the Foundation, we know that we are going to get Rhett Titus challenging for the Pure title. He will be going up against fellow Foundation member Jonathan Gresham. Now, there is no real heat in this match, as far as we are aware. There may be by the time Glory by Honor rolls around. But as of right now, it is just a friendly match with the title on the line. Also, we know that Bandito is going to have to put that world title up against Flip Gordon. The rest of the matches we're not 100% sure about. Ness, you will be there in attendance. What are your kind of just initial thoughts about Rhett Titus, who you have also called the glue of the Foundation, up against the leader of the Foundation in the Octopus?
it's weird, because it's just like he hasn't been in any type of pure match, like soul pure matches. When they had the tag team titles, they wanted every match contested under pure rules, which that would make sense, but they don't have the titles anymore. And out of everybody that's in he's beat everybody. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe storyline wise, Gresham is just giving out shots because he's tired of just facing people he thinks can't beat him or knows that can't beat him. Now he's in the foundation, and they all represent the same thing. He wants to, give a shot to one of his foundation brothers. Which at the end of the day, if he does lose against one of the foundation members, the title still remains within the foundation. So at the end of the day, it's not really a loss because they still have control of the pure title. Now, they did announce the match, but like you said, there's no real heat behind it, no real story. So now I guess we'll just wait over the next course, a couple weeks, to see how it plays out. But if this is an exhibition match, I'm just waiting to see it. But if there's actually going to be a storyline along with it, I want to see how that develops.
Yeah, that's going to be something that we will be paying attention to in the future. But guys, we will be talking about all of those things on our upcoming episodes of Fusion of Honor. But Ness, tell the people where they can find you, my good sir.
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at skinny__Kravitz, right here on True Heat YouTube channel. One half of Fusion of Honor. My man is StatKing, man of 1,004 numbers, where we review MLW Fusion and Ring of Honor. Catch me on Blunt Impact. RIP Joints and Jabronis for the time being. Yeah, I'm on there with Chris G. We review Impact Wrestling. You can also catch me on NX3 with, once again, Chris G and Romeo Anthony Colon, where we review NXT. Roundtable Rebel, catch me on the roundtables. And as always, you can hear my illustrious voice on True Toxicity.
And guys, you can catch me on Dark Power covering AEW Dark, AEW Elevation, and NWA Power. This has been a very interesting episode, I gotta say. And I just looked at what the Glory by Honor card is, and there is one other match that has been announced, and it is an 8-man tag match where all 4 members of LFI will go up against all 4 members of Violence Unlimited. So that'll be a fun little ditty.
Yeah.
Especially when you think about it, because that means unless people are pulling double duty, there's no TV title match and there's no tag match, which means we should or maybe or could get that Bouncers 6-man championship match. That might be
somebody's watching. Somebody's watching.
and they knew that you'd be there.
That too. Hey, pretty much everything I want to see will hopefully happen there because, hey, look, man, I haven't been to a Ring of Honor show in quite some time. And the way that the course that they're staying right now, I cannot wait to be in that building. Yeah,
especially when we also think about the fact that a certain El Idolo could certainly use some backup against a Death Triangle.
Honestly, I thought about that. I thought about it, but I said, you know what? I'll keep it to myself because apparently isn't Rush's contract with Ring of Honor up like sometime.
It's coming to a close. Yeah, it's coming to a close.
Yeah,
by the end of the year.
And he's not champ no more. He's already 2-time champ.
That's actually part of the reason why after Bandito won, I was like, that might be why they pulled the trigger.
Yeah,
because they were like, we don't want to necessarily put it on Flip, and we don't really have he's already beaten everybody else. Like, who is there really who can get some credibility? We'll use the survival of the fittest.
Yep.
Bandito can pull up kind of a Cinderella kind of win, and we can go from there. That's so. I'm interested to see who, if we get a serious contender for the TV title. That's when I'm going to be like, yeah, these contracts may be coming up.
I mean, hey, man, if they jump ship, I'm not going to say jump ship. If they go to AEW, I'll be there. I'll be watching as well. All of my Mexicans everywhere.
Oh man, and just imagine what we could get because Ness, I don't want you to think too hard about this one. But Roosh versus Bryan Danielson.
Oh man, I hope the rumors are true. I just hope they are.
What a time to be a wrestling fan. I think that's really.
Can I make a statement real quick?
Absolutely, sir.
Speaking of Bryan Danielson.
Oh God. Oh, I think I know where we're going.
Yes. All you losers out there attacking this man on his Instagram over rumors. Nothing has been official.
Even if it was official. Even if it was official.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Official or unofficial. You fucking weirdos attacking this man because of where he wants to wrestle. Oh, you turned your back on the place that gave. First of all, you know where he started wrestling? Where he got his name? Right here. This is where WWE found him. Being the fucking legend that he is now, it started here.
The number of people that WWE has taken. I don't want to say stolen. I was going to say stolen, but taken. We'll go with taken. Has taken from Ring of Honor is incredible,
and they're still doing it to this day.
Like
a couple years ago.
Where do you guys think that Damian Priest came from?
Damian Priest.
There would have been nobody for Bad Bunny to team with.
The whole Undisputed Era. Like, come on, guys. Oh my! I wish that these so-called fans were actual fans and not like just company people, and they don't even work for the fucking company.
If Vince was sending them checks, then I would at least be like, all right, cool, like cash the check. That's in a sense, it's your day job. Do your day job.
Yeah, just get off the internet. Go find you a woman, and if you have a woman and you're still doing this, get you a new one because she's clearly not doing what she needs to be doing for you as a man. It's this is what you do in your spare time, attacking somebody that doesn't even know you exist over where he's gonna be wrestling at. Like, come on, guys, just do better. This is why people think that us as wrestling fans are weird and just fucking losers. Because of people like you. God, I just had to get that off. I just had to get that out. I'm sorry.
That's fair, man. That's fair. I know that right now True Toxicity is a little bit of a hiatus, so we gotta get you the platforms for you to be able to get the things off your chest that you need to be able to.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank
you. But guys, that is a great hook because next time, who knows what Ness is going to be upset about or rant about next time on
Definitely Maria. Probably Maria. It's going to be Maria. I'm pretty sure.
Somehow they're going to give us while they're also giving us great things, somehow next week they're going to give us a Maria Amy Rose segment, and we will be able to celebrate that with all of you. But guys, until next time, this has been Fusion of Honor with my co-host, the three-time baby making champ. Remember to take care of yourselves and each other. And until next time, we will catch you later.